Okay, thanks for watching my presentation. I originally set out to identify treatment options for undocumented clients with co-occurring disorders in Los Angeles. But this basically turned into research on the fact that there are very, very limited options for this population. I will include the options I was able to find, though they do not do not necessarily fit the exact model of treatment for co-occurring disorders. And first, I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I found out about the intersection of being undocumented and having substance use disorders in general. Though immigration and various drug epidemics have been a part of the zeitgeist in the United States for years now, there's actually very little research on or support for undocumented immigrants struggling with substance use disorders. This is unfortunate because undocumented folks are particularly vulnerable to exploitation, violence, and abuse due to their immigration status. Additionally, Grace et al. Discusses the violence of uncertainty experienced by undocumented people due to policies that promote fear, instability, and harm for immigrants. Grace goes on to state that it's a contributing factor to various psychopathologies experienced by undocumented immigrants, including PTSD, depression, anxiety, and substance use disorders. Additionally, undocumented folks experience more language, legal, and gender-based barriers to evidence-based treatment than citizens with similar diagnoses. As if that isn't enough, substance use disorders can also be used against applications for citizenship, and substance use disorders can also contribute to an increased risk for deportation. All of this is to say that in my search for treatment options for undocumented folks in Los Angeles with co-occurring disorders, I found basically no culturally or linguistically responsive options. I found some options that will be helpful in some circumstances, and I'll discuss those later. But for a moment, I just kind of wanted to take an aside and talk about something I found in my research for this presentation. It's basically a phenomenon that it might be important to be aware of as future mental health practitioners in California. Basically, in response to the various issues at the intersection of immigration and treatment that I stated earlier, many immigrants from Latin America recovering from substance use disorders have opened their own residential recovery programs. And they're called annexos or annexes. Annexos are typically unofficially based on the 12 steps, and they originated in Mexico, but they've also been brought here to the US. They all operate independently and are not evidence-based or regulated, nor are they typically registered with AA. Additionally, they are often restricted to cis men. So this isn't so much a recommendation of annexos or the annexo system, but more just a, hey, this is something to be aware of since we live in California. And they are, present for people with substance use disorders in California. I wish I could go on, but sadly, I don't have time here to discuss that topic much further. So on to the option that I did find. So CRI Socorro is, excuse me. I did find CRI Socorro, a substance use disorder treatment facility offering detoxification, as well as residential and transitional living for adults, many of whom are experiencing homelessness and or are from Latinx communities. They have 2 locations, one in East Los Angeles and one in East Hollywood. And they have a bilingual program that offers Spanish speakers direct care without translators. It's linked in my post on Sakai if you think it might be useful to one of your clients. In terms of non-Spanish speaking immigrants, I really didn't find anything. Again, just a reminder that Socorro does not necessarily offer integrative treatment for co-occurring disorders, but it is for people with substance use disorders. And at this point, I should also note too that like AA and 12 steps do not bar undocumented folks from attending their meetings. they just aren't necessarily set up to attend to other mental health disorders, which is why I can't technically include them. And they do have Spanish meetings as well. Okay, so finally, this presentation, well, I do have some useful resources listed in my Sakai post that I'd love for you all to take a look at. This presentation ended up being more of a call to action and a call for any additional resources I may have missed. Um, so if you have any suggestions that you think might be useful, feel free to comment on my Sakai post. And oh, please note the options, two of the options that I included on my Sakai post are for mental health care for undocumented folks, but they do mention that working with substance use disorders is not within their scope of practice. So again, it's like I haven't really been able to find anything that fits, the need, the purpose of this class specifically, but there are still some options out there for help for this population. Okay. Oh, and my references. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks.